Hey guys, welcome back to the OVC YouTube channel. Today Chante is going to be telling us about her au pair experience with not one but two of the OVC programs. So Chante has programmed HOP, so she has au paired in Netherlands as well as Germany. Hi Chante, how are you doing?
Hi, nice to meet you today.
Nice to meet you too. So let's start off with au pair Germany. Can you tell us about your host family that you au paired for in Germany?
Sure. So I had a lovely host family in Germany. I was based in Hamburg, which is right at the top, like in the north of Germany. And I lived in the middle of the city with a family of four. So they were two kids, Leonard, who was 5 at the time, and Flora, who was 3 at the time. They're already 7 and 5 now, so I can't believe the time, flies so quickly. I had a great relationship. I still have a great relationship with them. Mm-hmm. The father was a notary and the mom had her own business. So They worked a lot. And I spent like 6 days a week with the kids, but I loved them so much. I had so much fun. I learned so much from the kids and from the host parents both. And we're still in contact, so that's pretty great.
That's great. And how did your host family in Germany differ from your host family in the Netherlands?
Oh, they're completely different. So in Germany, it was a huge city in the middle of the center of the city. They were very well organized, and I'm not sure if that's like a German thing that they're very well organized. They know being efficient. So with them, it was kind of very straightforward. We planned things in advance, knew what was going to happen, when it was going to happen. So in that sense, and they were a smaller family, whereas in the Netherlands, they were a family of 6, so there were 4 kids. And they lived on a farm and outside of a very small town, and they were much more chaotic. Like things could come up like short notice, but it wasn't like a problem. We communicated well and we worked well as a unit. And I also had such a great experience with the kids. So it was very different in that sense, the size of the family, where they lived, and just the way they functioned within the family, within the household. Was kind of different, but I am really happy to have had both experiences,
Yes. And now, what did your day-to-day routine look like when you're au pairing on the farm with 4 kids?
So usually I only worked 4 days a week, so I had 2 days off, the weekend and 1 day in the week. Mm-hmm. And in the morning I would get up and take them to school. As they were older, they were about 7 to 12. They would already get themselves ready, so I didn't have to get them ready or give them breakfast or anything. Mm-hmm. And I would drive them to school in the morning. And in the summer, we would cycle sometimes to school, which was great. And then in the mornings, I would just do a little bit of tidying around the house while the kids were at school. Take the dogs for a walk. We lived right next to a forest, which was great. So like a forest and a river. So I took the dogs for walks, and then I would pick the kids up for lunch at 12. They came home for lunch. It was very odd. It was like a small town thing. It's not the norm. But I would pick them up. They would have lunch, take them back, and then fetch them again after the school day. And then we would just kind of play and do whatever we felt like doing. We played a lot of hide and seek on the farm because there were lots of places to hide. And we just did lots of different things. They were very different, the kids. The eldest loved to sing and loved to act and kind of do karaoke and stuff like that. Then the middle children were twins, and they loved to do arts and crafts. They loved anything to do with arts and crafts. And then the youngest was the only boy, so he loved to play soccer. But we kind of always made a compromise so that everyone was happy and everyone got to do what they liked. And then we just played a lot together, and sometimes the kids from the neighboring farms would come and play with us. So sometimes there'd be 8 kids at once. But it was just like, we just had a lovely time. Lots of free time and just kind of hanging out together. And then at night I would take them to extramural activities. So they had soccer or hockey or music or whatever. I would take them there.
Okay. And now, how was the language barrier with you and your different host families in Germany and Netherlands, and how did you adjust to that?
Luckily for me, both my families spoke very good English. All of them had English-speaking au pairs before, so they understood English already. They didn't communicate in English though, but as I'm Afrikaans speaking, I picked up the Dutch pretty quickly. And in Germany, I went to German school, so I went for German classes, and I can now also speak German. But also with them, I spoke purely in English. I think within the family it was okay. It was more kind of outside, especially in Germany. When you go outside into town and into the supermarkets or into cafes, a lot of people don't speak English. Most of them only speak German. So that was a bit more difficult, but you kind of always find a way to explain what you need. But I do find, especially in Germany, my experience was a lot better once I was able to actually communicate in German.
Okay.
So, yeah.
All right. And then what was your reasoning for choosing OVC to do both your au pair programs?
Well, the first time I lived quite close to the OVC and I knew that the building was there. So I kind of just rocked up one day and said, hi, I would like to do an au pair program. Can you tell me about it? And they were just so helpful and so nice. They didn't mind that I just popped in and just, whenever I had questions, I would just go in and ask them, and they were always willing to help me. And throughout the whole process, they were just so helpful that the second time around, I was definitely keen on using you guys again, because you guys were there for me throughout the whole process. You helped me with visa applications, and any questions I had, you were always willing to help me and answer any questions that I needed. So yeah, it was a lovely experience, and I even have referred a bunch of people to you guys as well, to OVC. Yeah, because I'm just so happy with your service, really.
Thank you. And how did you feel with the support given on your programs with our partners in Netherlands and Germany?
But also both very helpful. In the Netherlands, I think they're a bit more hands-on. They have lots of au pair meetings, and it's kind of the whole country, because the Netherlands is so small, so everyone from the whole country meet together. And we met more frequently. In Germany, they were each region had their specific people that helped you, and we had a group, so you could always contact them via WhatsApp or whatever. And they were a bit more hands-off. They kind of let you find your way, but they were always willing to help. So either way, I feel like I had great experiences with OVC and their partner companies.
Perfect. And Ra, what did you normally do for these au pair gatherings and meetings throughout the month?
Well, it depended. In the Netherlands, we did really various things. We went to Gouda to go and make stroopwafels, which is like a national treat that everyone eats, and that was pretty cool to see. And we had a surfing day once, volleyball and surfing day. We went to Efteling, which is an amusement park in the Netherlands. So we did very different things in the Netherlands. In Germany, as it is a bit bigger, it was local. So we did everything we did in Hamburg. We would go mini golfing, or just go to a cafe and meet up and have a chat. And we went to the Christmas markets. That was great. That was a very cool experience.
What did you normally do during your free time and days off while the kids were at school or whenever?
Well, in the Netherlands, it was a bit harder because I lived on a farm, like far away from other people. So I had lots of alone time, but I loved it because I was in nature. So I could take the dogs out and just go for a cycle. There were rivers and little lakes, and it was very beautiful. So I did that when I had my own time. And on weekends, I traveled to different cities in the Netherlands. I saw pretty much all of the cities. I had friends in different regions, in different places in the Netherlands. So I got to see a lot of the Netherlands. In Hamburg, it was a bit different as well, because there I was close to everything and I knew a lot of people. So I could go out in the mornings, see my friends, have coffees with them, kind of do different things in the mornings, and as well on the weekends. It was very easy to meet up with friends and do different things. While I was there, I also did a lot on like free weekends. So I did weekend trips that are offered by student trip companies. So I got to see different places like Italy and Hungary and all sorts of cool places that I never thought I would see. Yeah.
Awesome. And now, what was your favorite travel destination that you got the chance to visit when you were on your program?
Oh, I had so many. It's hard to kind of choose one. Switzerland is definitely one of my top destinations. It's just beautiful and it's interesting. It's kind of like a fairy tale country. It doesn't look like it should be real. And I also went to Budapest, which was a different experience, but just as cool. I saw so many places that it's kind of hard to choose just, one or two. But yeah, Europe is a pretty interesting place, and every country is different, even though they're so close to each other. So it makes it very interesting. Yeah.
And now, what advice would you give to other young ladies that are looking to sign up and do the au pair program, whether it's Netherlands or Germany? What would you say to them?
I advise you to go ahead and do it. I mean, it's a wonderful experience. Don't go in with many expectations, because usually, your experience is much different than what you expect it to be. But in my case, it was much better than I expected it to be. Be open to experience whatever it is, and kind of, I don't know, for me, I've based my family's, my matches not on where they lived, but just the connection that I had with the family when I Skyped with them, and that I felt comfortable with them. So I feel like that's very important. And just speak up if there's anything that you need. Normally the families are very open and they like to communicate with their au pairs. They're totally fine with that.
Yes.
So just, be able to speak, and if you can't speak directly to them, that's why the partner companies are there to help you. It's a wonderful experience, and I think everyone should do it once,
Yes. So thank you for that advice. I think it's really great, and I definitely recommend matching with the family based on how you connect with them and the way you're able to speak to them, not on where they live, because I don't think that's going to go very well if you clash. Would you do the program again if you got the chance, or would you want to try a different program like Au Pair USA or What's Israel?
I would definitely, I am actually thinking about doing another program again because I love it so much. If I could have stayed longer in either the Netherlands or Germany, I would have done that as well. Once the travel bug kind of bites you, it's hard to get rid of, if you want to see all of these places. So I would definitely do it again if I had the opportunity. I myself don't have necessarily a need to go to the US. I have a thing for kind of the European countries, but it's definitely something that I would do again, definitely.
Okay, so thank you for taking time out your day to share a bit of your story with us.
It's my pleasure. Thank you for asking me to do it.
Oh, cool. To everyone else that's watching, please remember to like the video and subscribe below. Thank you.
Bye.